Good morning. I am going to Barnes & Noble Book Festival today and I'm really excited. It's in New York and I'm gonna bring you along on the day with me. So let's go do all the things, get ready, and go to New York and go to BookCon. The book festival is like 2 days and one day is like BookCon and then the next day is like more like book signings and author signings. I just woke up. Ugh. So let's get ready. So I have this sweatshirt that I got the other day and I'm just trying to figure out which pair of pants to wear with it. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to choose, but you let me know in the comments down below. Checkered or just regular pink, like let me know which you think I should choose. Okay, all ready to go. I believe I'm wearing this sweatshirt. I chose the checkered pants and just like packing up my bag and stuff, and then we have to catch the bus, catch the train, and then we'll be in New York. So yeah, just packing up the stuff. I brought a couple of extra bags because supposedly you get like a lot of ARCs at this event, so I wanted to be sure that I had stuff that I could carry them in. I will make sure I give you a rundown of the event and like everything that happens because I've been looking for one and I haven't been able to find one, and I want in the future, if you are able to go to this event, it would be nice for you all to be able to know how it goes and what the deal is. So I will make sure to document everything that I can, and I'll probably do an overview at the end, just telling you what I thought of it overall, how it was organized, etc., etc.
I don't wanna call you later. You're tearing my heart up like it's paper, and somehow you turn to a stranger. We used to work, now I'm trying to make sure that we're both on the same page.
Arrived in New York, so now I'm just taking the subway down to Union Square to meet up with a friend and get lunch and just hang out for the day. So I'm excited and just on the hunt for the subway right now. So I'll update you guys when I get there.
Should've known from the start that you were a waste of an open bar tab, wiping my feet on the doormat. There's so much of you that I just can't leave.
We're almost inside. It's almost 4 p.m. I'm gonna do my best to vlog. I'm nervous. 3:42. We're lined up, there's 2 lines. We are going in at 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. and then everyone else who's lined up is like different time slots. And then like obviously when it's their time, they will line up over here and then go in. And I think they're keeping enough stock for like each.
I think they allocated.
Yeah, they allocated stock for each group. So it's not like the books are gonna run out.
You're out there riding away, but is there room on the wave? Don't want a second thought, babe. I'll stay in mine. I'm all the give, you're the take.
Look at that rock.
Nothing left I could say. Ha ha ha. Nothing makes it clear when there's no one. It's returned to something that I don't even like. There's nothing left to fix if you don't want me to try.
wrapped around the top floor and quartered off from the book, so no one's in yet. I think everyone's like really nervous. Yeah. So we'll see how this goes. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Feel free to grab bookmarks, we have pins, we have friendship bracelets, we've got sticker sheets.
There's wrinkles on my face and I'm only 23. And that's just speaking for me. You hit that certain age, you're told to make a living wage. But I swear I just learned my name. I swear I'm not to blame. You're told no more fun, it's off to work. You earn it on to have been
Literally
work.
crazy.
I don't play that way. I'm always gonna say, take us back to when we were kids. We didn't know how good we had it. Now we're all just sick and sad and sad and. Take us back to
Alright, we did some damage. I'm sweating. Did a big jerk.
Life's like a paper plane, don't steer the way. You're told no more fun, it's off to work. Earn it on to have been worth it. I don't play that way.
We're trying to win catabasis, cabassis art right now. So we're waiting. It's gorge. It's so funny. Okay, we're out. That's it. I'm literally so tired. I'm so tired. But I'll do a haul when I get home of like everything that I picked up and talk more about like exactly what happened and like how it was organized. I feel like they did a pretty good job of organizing it. Like I'm not mad about it at all. So I think overall it went pretty well. I did get like a little bit panicky, like right in the middle. I was like, oh, I'm like gonna have a little bit of an anxiety attack. But I just like sat down, put all my stuff down, took my sweatshirt off because it was very hot, and like decompressed, and I felt a lot better. So I just think that that's like the level of overwhelming it can be if that's something that you don't like. You just have to be aware of it. But I'm on my way back home, just waiting to catch the train. And yeah, it was very exciting, very fun. And I'm very hot now. So yeah. This is everything I got from Barnes & Noble Book Festival 2025. These 2 full bags. So I figured I would sit down with you guys and go over how the festival went, what I thought of it, like layout wise, planning wise, and then also just the goodies that I got at the end. So I'm gonna do the haul portion at the end of the video, so stick around. But let's sit on the floor and have a little chit chat. A little chit chat moment. Okay, so going over BookFest, Barnes & Noble Book Fest 2025 BookCon. I've heard it called like a couple of different things. Basically, I went to the Friday portion of Barnes & Noble BookCon. It was a lot of fun. It is basically organized, at least this year, it's broken into multiple hour sections. So I got a ticket for the 4 p.m. section. That was like the start of it. And then I think it went all the way until 7 p.m. And so the idea was that people bought tickets to specific hour-long slots so that it wasn't just like mass chaos with everyone going in, because it would have been like so many people. And it was a very cool experience. We basically lined up around 2 p.m. That was when they were allowing people to start lining up. And so exactly at 2 p.m. there was a line like all the way down the side of the building for the Barnes & Noble in Union Square, and me and my friend probably got in line around like 2:30, and we were number like 51 and 52 in line, and like all the way down the side of the building. So all the time slots lined up at the exact same time, which I thought was a little bit bizarre because obviously like some people were in line waiting for like 6 p.m. And some people were in line waiting for 4 p.m. But what they did was they had different color wristbands, and once it was close to being 4 p.m. and time for the first slot to go in, they created a second line. So they basically just had us divide out. So like the 4 p.m. people just stepped out of line and came up here and then like walked forward, and everyone else stayed in line. That way, if you were a later time slot but you wanted to save your spot to make sure you could get in, you know, be one of the first people to walk in, you were still lined up and like staying there, so you didn't like lose your spot or anything. So we walked into the building. It was really nice. There were a lot of people there who I think were solo because they only let you buy one ticket, which I think is a little bit tricky, like one ticket per person, because obviously a lot of us want to go with our friends, with our bestie, with our book clubs. So it just so happened that me and my friend got the same time slot. We didn't even know we were going, like that we were both going. So it was pure luck. But other people I know were probably like annoyed that they couldn't buy a ticket with their friend like together, because some people like got a time slot for 4 p.m. Other people got a time slot for 6 p.m. You can't go in together. You can't really like, you can wait together a little bit, but I think that makes it hard for you to go as like a pairing or a group. But anyway, so I think that would be like an improvement for next year. I'm not saying that you should be able to buy as many tickets as you want, but I think it would be nice if you could buy like 2 or 3 or even 4 tickets so that like you and your friends can go together. But everyone was super friendly and very nice. I think that it did create a kind of atmosphere of being open to meeting new people, because a lot of people were going solo. Like a lot of people had their Kindles and books with them to read in line, which was really cute. So it was definitely like a moment for the book community to really come together. It was very sweet. And everyone was super friendly. There were a couple girls standing behind us. They were so nice. I get really nervous filming in front of people, and everyone was so kind to me. Asked me if they could subscribe to my channel, like asked me what I was doing, like very non-judgmental. Like I was taking a video down the stairs and everyone was saying hi. So like the community was really, really sweet, and I didn't have any negative experiences in terms of like any pushing or pulling or people fighting, which I think is a concern when you have a lot of people going into a small space. It's like, oh, is there gonna be like, am I gonna be okay? So overall, I would say that was great. I think that like Barnes & Noble and like all the publishers who came they organized it really well. They were so kind. The publishers brought so many ARCs. They were so sweet, and they basically had it set up as an allotment. So the people who came at 4 p.m. did not like wipe out the allotment of books. They had books set aside for every hour-long period so that so each group had like, I think, equal chance, or like more of an equal chance to be able to get like the same books, because obviously there are books that are going to be more popular that are, you know, ARCs that are coming out, and so in order to make sure every group had the opportunity to go get those books, they had like so many books set behind them. So like it was really, really amazing, and the publishers were so kind. Everyone there was like explaining to you, you know, what vibe a book was, being like, oh, are you into romance? Are you into like historical romance? Are you into horror? Like, what's your vibe? And then being like, okay, these books are for you if you're interested. This one's sci-fi, this one's this one's that. So like giving little descriptions. I think a lot of it was also just like grabbing books based on the cover, obviously. Like I am a sucker for a really cute cover, so you know, inevitably that was some of it. But I really like any genre. I'm really willing to read anything, so I didn't have such a hard time with this. But if you are someone who's like, I'm strictly or like a horror girly, you absolutely would be able to go and they will give you information about like which books they think you would like. So it was really kind of them. They were so sweet, giving out stickers, giving out pins, giving out posters, having places where you could come and like take a picture. So I would say the biggest takeaways that I had from the whole experience were just that like it was really fun, but I do think that it was a bit chaotic, and not in a negative way, but just in a way where like if you are an anxious human, which I am, like I needed to take a little bit of a break after, I would say, I mean it's only an hour long period, but after about 30 minutes I was pretty overwhelmed. I think that a lot of people were pretty overwhelmed, and I needed to like set my stuff down and like sit down and relax for a minute, because I was like getting overheated. It was very warm up there, and just like was getting a little anxious. But everyone was so nice. Like I sat down and this girl next to me, like I'm drinking my water, I'm just trying to have a chill moment, and she looks at me, she goes, "Oh, are you okay?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm just trying to have like a little like relaxed moment." She chatted with me, so like it was definitely such a open and welcoming environment. At least that's what I experienced in my hour. I hope that that was the same for everyone. And I do feel like they had plenty of books. I do feel like they had a huge range of books. It was a lot of romance. Like if you're a romance person, they definitely had a lot of romance. So if you don't like romance, I guess that might be a risk of coming, but I do feel like they had a lot of other books too, as long as you're willing to like, you know, try new things, because a lot of these are going to be things you've never heard of before, new authors, like first time authors. I think the other thing is like there were definitely a couple of like big name books that, you know, everyone wanted. I guess I will be showing them to you anyway. I can't think of them off the top of my head, but like there were quite a few like, I guess, name brand authors that people would be going for, but I would say the majority of them were authors I'd never heard. Hi! I would say the majority of them were authors I've never heard of. Oh, you're gonna stand on my posters? I would say the majority of them were authors that I hadn't heard of or like didn't immediately recognize. So if you're someone that's like, I only want like name brand recognizable authors and you're only reading the most popular books, you might not be as interested in this event. But if you're willing to read a first time book from an author you've never heard of, or like a author diving into a new genre, I think that this would be like a great opportunity. So I would definitely say tip 1, make sure you're wearing layers so that you can, you know, take them off while you're there, because it was very warm upstairs. Make sure that you bring water. Make sure that you bring bags with you. They do hand out tote bags, but they're not all like square shaped, so they don't all fit books really well. I did grab one that was that shape, but I also brought like quite a few from home. I think I brought 3 of my own, and I got 3, and I used one of them to carry the books. Give yourself the space you need to go sit down, to reorganize your books. I would say me and my friend noticed that we kind of felt like a lot of the like more popular books were in the back. So don't like just come in and stop at the front and then like go in order. Go to the back first, like go all the way in. Definitely do the full rotation of the tables, see what everyone's got. And I think the biggest thing I would say is like, don't panic, because there was definitely a chaotic energy there of like people just like grabbing books and like feeling of like that they're gonna run out. And like, yes, at the end of the hour, like they did pretty much run out for that hour, but there was plenty of time. I think I walked around like 3 times, and I was like, there's plenty of time. So I think next year I would keep that in mind as well for myself. Like, don't freak out. Don't just like be like going wild and grabbing as much as you can. Like, take your time, because the publishers really did bring like a lot of book options, and anything that was really, really popular. Like they had Catabasis by R.F. Kuang, and they only had 7 copies, and they did a raffle instead of like, it's not like the first 7 people who got to the table got the copies. So like the really, really, really popular things, there was a raffle for them. So just like keeping that in mind, because I think that there was like a decent amount of like frenzied vibes. But like I said, it wasn't any like nastiness. It was more just like panic. Like everyone was like, and like before we went in, a lot of people were anxious too. So just like remember, everything's gonna be fine. So that was my experience. And then the only other thing I would say that was like kind of frustrating was that when my friend sent this to me, but like after we went home, like people were already selling some of the arcs online for like a lot of money. And I just think that like tarnishes the experience, because a lot of us are just there to like enjoy, have a good time, and like get the opportunity to get arcs. Like an arc is not something that like a physical copy of an arc is not something that the average person gets. Yes, you can get one on NetGalley. Yes, you can, you know, have the audio version, but most of us are not being sent physical arcs. I've never received a physical arc like in the mail from a publisher before. Guys, if you want to, I'm open to it. But like that's something that I feel like is more for like the bigger influencers and stuff like that, and I totally get it. But so this is like something where like the everyday person can get to feel really special going and like grabbing all these arcs. So the fact that like people grabbed them and then like turned around and sold them online because they knew they could make a significant profit off of them, that's not true for all of these books, but I think there was one in particular that was like really popular. And an arc is also, I feel like, a little bit, it feels valuable, especially if that's like one of your favorite authors, because no, you can't buy that anywhere. Well, you can buy it online, but you can't buy it in store anywhere. You can't buy an arc. It's just really frustrating. Like if you're not planning to read the book, I don't know what way you could, what boundaries Barnes & Noble or the publishers could set, but like it is frustrating that people were selling them afterwards. It just feels a little bit against, like, opposite of the point. And if you're only going there to pick up these books so that you can sell them, that also feels kind of awful, because someone else would have really enjoyed getting that ticket. So that's all I have to say about that. But we did notice that, and it was a little bit disappointing. But overall, I would say everyone that I met, so kind. Publishers, staff at Barnes & Noble, security that they had, everyone so kind, so sweet. It was a really friendly and like welcoming area. So I guess this is where we get to like the haul portion. I don't really know the best way to do this. I guess I could just show them to you because there's so many. I don't want to be giving you a description of every single book. Maybe I'll just show them to you and I'll tell you the title and then my favorites, the ones I'm most excited to read that I like recognized, I can point out. Let's do it. I'm gonna do the best I can. So the first book is The Lost Queen by Amy Fan. And I believe this is like a fantasy book, so excited about that. Definitely a gorgeous cover. Then we've got Nobody's Fool by Harlan Coben. This is a thriller, I believe, and I've seen this name a lot, so I know that this is like a very popular thriller author. They even have like, what is it called when you give like a blurb, but it's blurbed by Gillian Flynn. So like this looks really awesome. Oh, the other thing is they had an author signing. So like this isn't an arc, but like the author signed it. So that was so sweet. This is Gabriella Games or Gamez, and this is Kiss Me Maybe. So that was really cool. We got to meet her, but this looked really cute, and the author was signing the copy, so it was like so worth it. And I believe they had a different author every hour, and it was just random. There was no way to know who your author was going to be. The next book I got, okay, I'm so excited about this. This is in my 25 books of 2025 that I want to read this year. The Conditions of Will by Jessa Hastings. If you don't know, Jessa Hastings wrote the Magnolia Park series as well as Never, and this is a separate new series. This almost seems like it's kind of a thriller because it's all about this girl and her brother. She's like estranged from her family, her father dies, and then there's like a mysterious request in their father's will. They're like wealthy, I think. And she has this like uncanny ability to read people. And so this becomes like, I don't know, it seems like it's like damaged family, daughter with special ability to read people, reunion with like her brother. There seems to be some sort of love interest where like both her and her brother have a thing for this person, and like a strange request from their father's will. So they're trying to figure out what's happening. Jessa Hastings, all of her covers are the most stunning thing I've ever seen. So I'm so excited. When I saw this, I raced over. I was like, oh my gosh, can I please have one of those? So then the next one I got is Ladies' Night by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner. We have The Bell Witches by Lindsay Kelk. We've got A First Time for Everything by K.L. Walther. I'm really excited about this one. I read The Summer of Broken Rules last summer and loved it. And K.L. Walther has a bunch of books that have come out recently. She had one that came out this past month in March. That's actually set in Philly, and I'm really excited to read it. We've got Backhanded Compliments by Katie Chandler. Vesuvius by Cass Bain, I think that's how you say it. This one I had not heard of, but one of the people from the publishing firm or industry was telling me about it. It's like a historical romance that takes place like right before Pompeii happens and like the volcano explodes. So it's like it almost seems like a life or death like romance situation, and it just is so gorgeous. I'm so excited to read it. The minute she described it, I was like, you sold me. Absolutely. We've got Behooved by M. Stevenson. This is also a gorgeous cover. Stuck Up and Stupid by Angori Rice and Kate Rice. So maybe like a sibling duo. That's very cute. The Friendship Fling by Georgia Stone. I had this saved on Goodreads. I was really excited to read it. So it was fun to see that it was there. This looks like it takes place in London. It is like this girl who works at a coffee shop. This guy comes in and basically proposes like a summer fling and for her to help him complete his summer bucket list. So like what's better? Like I wish I had this last year when I was in London and I was like reading summer books. Like this seems absolutely perfect for a travel vibe. How to Survive a Horror Story by Mallory Arnold. I am really into the horror genre, so I'm very excited about this. And then they had Light Lark by Alex Astor. I've heard so many good things about this book. I was actually surprised that they had like, this is not an ARC, this is just like a regular published version. So I guess they just probably had extra of these and decided to hand some out. So I was thrilled because I've heard so many good things. One of my best friends is reading this right now and said she thought I would love it. So this was just very exciting to find. So that's it in this bag. This bag says Heaven and Earth Grocery Store, and it's got like a little button, so I will definitely be using this. So that was one of the cute tote bags I got. And on to the next bag. So the next book I've got is Any Trope But You by Victoria Levine. This looks extremely cute. Another romance story. We've got Fortune's Kiss by Amber Clement. Once again, stunning cover, and looks like this seems kind of like a fantasy. It's almost giving like Caraval vibes a little bit. Obviously I haven't read it, so don't like quote me on that if you're like, that's not like Caraval at all. But that's kind of the vibe I'm getting from the back of the book. The next one is Summer Girls by Jennifer Dugan, who wrote Some Girls Do, and I've seen that one before as well and heard really good things. Then there is A Theory of Dreaming by Ava Reed. This is the second book in a Study in Drowning series, and I am like obsessed with I haven't read A Study in Drowning, but I've heard a ton about it. I really like Ava Reed, and I'm so excited to have the second book of this series. I've just heard such good things, and I want to read it, but this is one of the ones that I like, when I saw it, I was like, I know exactly what that is. Next, we've got the Time Loops and Meet Cutes by Jackie Lau. This one also, like a time loop story, sounded really, really interesting, a little bit different than any romance I've ever read before. We've got Voice of the Ocean by Kelsey Impeachich, but this cover speaks for itself. Okay, now this one was the one that people were very, very, very excited about, and I believe was the one people were selling online. This is The Night and the Moth by Rachel Cargill, who also wrote the One Dark Window duology. So people were really, really excited about this. I've heard amazing things, and I was also excited. And it says, to tell a story is in some part to tell a lie, isn't it? Achingly romantic, richly imagined, and told with a gossamer delicacy that keeps the pages flying. This was very popular and was one of those books that everyone was like, oh, that one. So I'm glad that I was able to get a copy of it. The next book I have is Another by Paul Tremblay, and I'm so excited about this because this is a middle grade book, and I personally love middle grade horror. So I'm like literally pumped that I picked this up. I have read one other thing by Paul Tremblay and I didn't love it, but it wasn't middle grade horror. It was regular horror, and like I said, obsessed with middle grade horror, so I think I'm really gonna like that. We've got Time After Time by Mickey Daughtry, To Survive a Slasher by Justine Pucella Winans, and I saw that this one is, they say it's like a mishmash of You're Not Supposed to Die Tonight and Scream, and I love Scream. It's one of my favorite like movie series, like movie universes. I absolutely love it. Then we've got Fast and Reckless. This is an F1 racing book by Amanda Weaver, and I read Throttled and really liked it, and that's also F1 racing romance, and it's F1 season, so had to pick this bad boy up. Also, one of my friends really likes F1. Actually, a couple of my friends really like F1, so I was like, if this is not necessarily like my cup of tea, they will love it. The next book I got was The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren, and some of these advanced reader copies, these ARCs, actually came out last year, so like this one is already a book that has been published and has been out since May 14th, but I'm guessing they probably just had extra copies sitting around in the publishing office and were like, we'll bring those and then people can take them if they're interested. And I have such a like a mixed relationship with Christina Lauren. I've read quite a few of their books. I love In Holidays. I read what was it called? Maybe like the roommate something. It's like she's dating this it's like a fake marriage situation. I'll look it up. I'll put it up over here. But I read that one and I really liked it. But like sometimes they really get me with their third act like breakups. So I am excited to try this one. I've heard really good things about it. We've got Pomona Afton Can So Solve a Murder. This one is by Bellamy Rose, and I love a little cozy, cutesy murder mystery. We've got The Faceless Thing We Adore by Hester Steele. This looks very spooky, creepy. And then lastly, we've got A Killer Getaway. Falling in Love Can Be Murder by Sienna Sharp. And then I got this tote bag that says booked all week. True. I am absolutely booked all week now that I have all these books. And we've got this which says The Monster Is Always Slain in the Veins of the Drowning by Kaylee Cassidy. So those are, I think that is literally everything that I got from BookCon 2025, Barnes & Noble Book Festival. There are also festivities going on today. Today is the like panels and book signings. I know that you had to like buy per time slot, so I'm really interested to hear how that went. If any of you ended up going to day one or day two, I'd love to hear your experience if you want to drop it in the comments down below. If you have any questions for me about how it was organized, how it went, I know that like I think this is going to be something they do annually. They've done it the past couple of years. So if you're interested in buying a ticket, I would definitely follow Barnes & Noble Union Square, and then also follow their Eventbrite because they sell tickets via Eventbrite. So that's going to be the first place that emails you and tells you about this event. This year it was sold on February 14th. So sometime in February is when they sell the tickets, and they go extremely fast. I think that this year they were sold out within 2 minutes. And the other thing is, if this is all based on if you're going next year and you have the opportunity, if you don't get a ticket on the first day, make sure to check back, because people can return their tickets up to 24 hours before the event, and they relist them via Eventbrite. So if you didn't get to go to something you really wanted to go to, whether it be the BookCon or any of the signings, people might be like, oh, I actually can't go at that day or that time anymore, and relist their ticket. So keep an eye on the Eventbrite. Like I said, if you have any questions, please pop them in the comments down below. It was really fun. A huge thank you to Barnes & Noble and all the publishers for being so kind and organizing this event and being willing to bring all these ARCs to people that don't normally get ARCs. If I were to go again, I would go in with much more of a plan, be a lot more like paying attention to, like, not just trying to get whatever because of like pure chaos and panic, which obviously it was kind of unavoidable that this was my first time. It was just the vibe. But definitely going in with more of like, okay, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I'm interested in. These are the publishers that were there. And these are the books that they have coming out this year and the ones that I'm kind of on the hunt for. Because, you know, we don't want to be wasteful. We don't want to end up, you know, taking things that we don't want just out of like a moment of panic. And I think that probably did happen to some people. I'm not even, like, maybe even me, but my goal is to read all of these, and if I, you know, don't love some of them, I'm gonna put them in my local little library so that other people in the community can enjoy them, or I'm going to give them to friends and family who I think would be interested in or enjoy them. So the goal is obviously for nothing to go to waste at all. I hate the idea of anything going to waste, and to like feeding into this culture of like consumerism. And this is one of those events that I did feel like really back and forth about, because it's hard not to be like pulled into this space of being like, I need it all, I need it all, I need as many as I can. So I'm absolutely going to do my best. I think I'm going to do a reading vlog soon, diving into these ARCs and these books. And I've already had my one friend watch my dog yesterday, so I had her take 2, because I was like, hey, if anything interests you, like, grab them, please. I want to share these with the people I love. This is by no means like I don't want them to end up on my bookshelf and never be read. So that's just my little spiel and inner thought process. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next video, possibly a reading vlog where I dive into these. So make sure to like and subscribe if you are not subscribed already. You guys are the best, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!